Have you ever stopped to reflect on the deeper meaning of the month you were born in? At first, it may seem like a minor detail, just a curiosity with little importance. But for Carl Jung, one of psychology's most influential thinkers, the timing of your birth was far from random. He believed it was connected to symbolic forces that shape us at our core. Jung proposed that your birth month holds more than seasonal significance. It serves as a symbolic gateway, offering insight into your psychological nature, inner potential, emotional lessons, and the energy you naturally carry into the world. This is not fortune-telling or superstition, but a psychological framework that allows us to understand ourselves more deeply. Imagine that by exploring the symbolism of your birth month, you could uncover hidden aspects of your personality, gaining clarity about your habits, emotions, and even your sense of purpose. It may sound surprising, but when viewed through Jung's ideas on archetypes, the collective unconscious, and nature's recurring patterns, the concept begins to make sense. In this exploration, we'll look at Jung's symbolic view of time, specifically, how each month contains a distinct psychological energy, and how that energy may subtly influence the traits, tendencies, and spiritual direction of those born within it. Before we begin, if you value depth, meaning, and self-discovery, consider subscribing to our channel. We share content that challenges conventional thinking and encourages reflection on who you are and what motivates you. By joining us, you become part of a community focused on growth through deeper understanding rather than surface-level advice. Take a moment to breathe deeply, because what follows may not only shift how you view your birth month, but also how you see your patterns, your story, and the journey you've been walking all along. This isn't about putting people into boxes, it's about revealing patterns already present within you. Jung's central belief was that the universe is filled with repeating patterns, which he called archetypes. These are universal images, themes and energies that appear across cultures, myths, and human experiences. They exist both around us and within us, shaping how we think, feel, and act. Jung also saw nature's cycles as reflections of these archetypes: the stillness of winter, the growth of spring, the radiance of summer, and the quiet reflection of autumn. Since each month belongs to a specific season, it carries symbolic meaning. For Jung, your birth month isn't just a date on the calendar, it is an imprint, the moment when you entered the world, shaped by the energy, light, and atmosphere of that time. Take March as an example. In the Northern Hemisphere, it marks the transition from winter to spring. Snow begins to melt, days grow longer, and life stirs again. Jung believed that those born in transitional months like March or September may carry a dual nature, pulled between opposites such as stillness and movement, or introspection and outward expression. These individuals are often sensitive to change, attuned to shifting environments and emotions, and inclined to seek balance between extremes. Now consider January or July, months of stability when a season is firmly established. People born in these times often embody structure, perseverance, and resilience. Jung linked them to archetypes of strength, vision, and order, the builders and organizers who naturally seek stability and provide it for others. For Jung, time itself was not neutral. Each moment carries a rhythm, a tone, and a story. When we are born, we inherit a piece of that symbolic rhythm, like background music that influences how we think, feel, and respond to life. It doesn't dictate destiny, but it offers a framework, a symbolic map for self-understanding. This map highlights both the strengths you can lean on and the challenges you are meant to face. For Jung, true freedom comes through self-knowledge. And part of that knowledge lies in recognizing the archetypal forces tied to your birth. What makes this perspective compelling is how it transforms something we often overlook, our birth month, into a meaningful tool for reflection. Suddenly, a simple date on your certificate becomes more than a fact. It becomes an entry point into the deeper rhythms of nature, psychology, and the story of who you are. So now we arrive at the real question. What does your birth month reveal about your soul's journey? Each month, in Jung's symbolic framework, connects to a distinct archetype, a timeless inner pattern present in everyone, though stronger in some than others. Understanding these archetypes can explain why you feel drawn to certain roles, why specific challenges repeat, and where your natural wisdom lies. In the sections ahead, we will explore the meaning behind each month, from the quiet depth of January to the transformative energy of November. Jung's insights into archetypes show us that the rhythm of time itself carries psychological significance. We will begin by walking through the symbolism of the early months, and you may find reflections of yourself in places you never expected. Keep in mind, however, this is not about fitting into a rigid mold. Archetypes are not boxes, they are mirrors. They don't confine you. Instead, they help you recognize qualities already within you, perhaps ones that remain unnamed. If you are ready to discover the symbolic energy of your birth month and how it might be shaping your choices, emotions, and personal growth, then continue with us on this journey. In the next part, we will explore each month individually, beginning with January, February, and March, and continuing all the way to December. What you discover may not only surprise you, but also reconnect you with aspects of yourself long forgotten. Jung believed that birth months are not arbitrary divisions of time, but symbolic phases in nature's greater cycle. Each carries its own psychological tone, and those born during it may naturally resonate with specific, universal archetypes. Let's begin this symbolic journey through the calendar and uncover what each month may reveal about the inner landscape of your soul. January, the archetype of the elder or sage. January begins in silence. In many places, it is the coldest and stillest time of the year, a season for reflection and looking inward. It represents both a fresh start and a pause to contemplate what has passed. Jung linked this month with the archetype of the elder, or sage. People born in January often carry a natural depth, maturity, and sense of responsibility, even early in life. They may not always speak often, but when they do, others tend to listen. There is an innate wisdom about them, a perspective that sees the bigger picture. They usually value long-term goals, stability, and practical guidance. Though sometimes reserved, they are quietly determined and deeply grounded. Yet, like all archetypes, this one has a shadow. The sage can become overly cautious, too serious, or emotionally detached. January-born individuals may struggle with joy or spontaneity if they lean too heavily into seriousness. Their key is to embrace wisdom while also making space for lightness and play. February, the archetype of the visionary or revolutionary. February still holds the cold of winter, but something begins to shift. Beneath the surface, there is a sense of change and possibility. For Jung, this month aligns with the archetype of the visionary, the one who sees beyond the present into what could be. Those born in February often carry vivid imagination, a love for innovation, and a desire to move beyond the ordinary. They tend to think independently and resist being confined by rigid traditions. A spirit of rebellion runs through them, not for its own sake, but as a way to break barriers and create new possibilities. They often see life from a different perspective. Many are highly creative and emotionally sensitive, even if they don't always show it. Still, the visionary can sometimes feel isolated or misunderstood. Living mainly in the world of ideas and ideals, they may find daily reality restrictive or frustrating. The challenge for those born in February is to ground their insights and bring their visions into practical form. March, the archetype of the reborn or the awakener. March signals renewal, especially in the northern hemisphere, where it marks the beginning of spring, life reawakening after winter's long rest. In Jung's symbolic view, March belongs to the archetype of the reborn, the one who emerges from darkness into light, from dormancy into growth. People born in March often carry deep emotional sensitivity, experiencing life intensely and with strong intuition. Many have artistic or spiritual leanings, a connection with nature's cycles, and a talent for renewal. They are resilient, able to reinvent themselves repeatedly, even if they appear delicate. The risk for the reborn lies in becoming lost in their own emotional depth or inner world. Their growth requires balance, maintaining boundaries, and uniting a rich inner life with a grounded outer presence. April, the archetype of the warrior or the initiator. April bursts forth with movement and energy. Days lengthen and life seems to accelerate. This month reflects the fiery, active archetype of the warrior or initiator, the force of courage, action, and personal will. Those born in April often display boldness and assertiveness. They are natural starters, drawn to new challenges, with a passionate drive that inspires others. They fight for their beliefs and bring a contagious intensity wherever they go. Yet without balance, the warrior can become impulsive or impatient, sometimes exhausting themselves by pushing too hard. Their growth lies in learning when to move forward and when to pause. May, the archetype of the builder or the lover of simplicity. May is a time of blossoming and stability. Nature is in full bloom, carrying a sense of calm strength. Jung associated May with the builder, the archetype of creation, patience, and appreciation of life's pleasures. People born in May often have a grounded, sensual nature. They value routine, beauty, and the physical world. Many are drawn to art, nature, food, and experiences that awaken the senses. Loyal and nurturing, they move steadily toward their goals. Yet, the builder may resist change, clinging to stability out of fear of disruption. Their growth lies in embracing transformation while holding on to what is real and enduring. June, the archetype of the seeker or the mediator. June rests at the year's midpoint, balancing what has passed with what lies ahead. It is a month of light, curiosity, and movement. In Jung's symbolism, June reflects the seeker, the one who pursues truth, understanding, and connection. June-born individuals are often quick-minded, open-hearted, and socially gifted. They carry a playful, youthful energy, while also being drawn to life's deeper questions. They excel at communication and naturally connect people, ideas, and experiences. The seeker's challenge is focus. With so many interests, they may struggle to stay on one path, or they may overthink and try to please everyone. Their growth requires finding inner balance while continuing to explore outwardly. As we can see, each month carries its own symbolic theme, an invitation to explore a particular aspect of the psyche. For Jung, these are not stereotypes, but symbolic mirrors, helping us reflect on who we are at our core. In the next section, we'll explore the meanings of the months from July to December, months filled with deeper emotion, transformation, leadership, and inner wisdom. Perhaps within these, you may recognize your own inner calling more clearly than ever before. As our symbolic journey continues, we now turn to the second half of the year. From July to December, the energies grow, more complex, reflecting maturity, emotional depth, and a stronger call to meaning and transformation. Let's look at the archetypes of these months and how they may guide greater self-understanding. July. The archetype of the protector or the nurturer. July arrives with warmth, family gatherings, and emotional depth. It is closely tied to care, connection, and the inner life. Jung linked July to the nurturer or protector archetype, those who naturally sense and respond to the emotional needs of others. People born in July often have strong empathy, compassion, and loyalty to those they love. They usually maintain close ties to family, tradition, and memory, often becoming the emotional center of their communities, offering comfort and stability. However, the nurturer's shadow can be self-neglect. July-born individuals may give so much to others that they forget their own needs, sometimes suppressing feelings in order to maintain harmony. Peace and growth come when we learn to protect ourselves with the same care we offer to others. August, the archetype of the leader or sovereign. August carries a bold, radiant energy, a time of full expression, confidence, vitality, and visibility. Jung associated this month with the archetype of the king or queen, also known as the sovereign. Those born in August often have a commanding presence. They carry natural leadership qualities, a strong identity, and a genuine desire to influence and guide others. While they may enjoy recognition, it usually stems from a sense of purpose and responsibility to serve. Yet leadership brings challenges. The sovereign may slip into pride, control, or isolation when misunderstood or unsupported. Growth comes through humility, compassion, and shared power. When balanced, they become visionaries, leading with strength and grace while empowering others. September, the archetype of the analyst or perfectionist. September ushers in the shift toward autumn, a season of harvest, preparation, and order. Jung linked it with the archetype of the analyst, those who seek clarity, structure, and understanding. People born this month often have sharp minds, with a talent for creating order out of chaos. They are detail-oriented, disciplined, and drawn to tasks requiring focus and precision. Many are natural planners, researchers, or organizers, finding peace when everything is in place. However, their strength can turn into perfectionism. September-born individuals may be overly self-critical or rigid, fearing mistakes and resisting uncertainty. Their growth lies in embracing imperfection, allowing space for creativity, spontaneity, and self-compassion. October. The archetype of the diplomat or artist. October is a time of beauty, balance, and transformation. Its energy centers on harmony, aesthetics, and emotional connection. Jung saw October as embodying the diplomat or artist, those who seek peace, beauty, and unity amid life's contrasts. People born in October often excel in relationships with a strong sense of fairness, an eye for beauty, and a deep desire to bring people together. Many are romantics at heart, valuing love, truth, and meaningful connection. Yet the shadow side is avoidance. Diplomats may sidestep conflict to preserve peace, sometimes at their own expense. Their growth requires learning to face disagreements directly, understanding that true harmony comes not from avoiding conflict, but from resolving it consciously. November, the archetype of the alchemist or deep transformer. November is wrapped in mystery, a time when light fades and the world turns inward. Jung associated it with the alchemist or transformer, symbols of depth, change, and renewal. Those born in November are often intuitive, intense, and spiritually inclined. They seek to look beyond appearances and uncover deeper truths. Unafraid of the darker sides of life, they are truth-seekers who often undergo profound transformations. The journey of the alchemist involves cycles of loss, surrender, and rebirth. For November-born individuals, growth means trusting the process and not being consumed by it. When they embrace their depth with courage, they become powerful guides and healers. December, the archetype of the wise teacher or visionary. Sage December marks the year's close, a season of reflection and hope for renewal. Jung aligned it with the archetype of the wise teacher or sage. People born in December often combine maturity with optimism. They reflect on the past with insight while looking to the future with faith. Philosophical, spiritual, or idealistic, they are drawn to share wisdom, inspire others, and expand awareness. Yet even the sage faces challenges. They may lose touch with the present, focus too heavily on abstract ideas, or feel disillusioned. When reality falls short of ideals, their path of growth lies in grounding their wisdom in daily life, living meaningfully rather than only teaching or imagining. As we've seen, each birth month reflects a different archetype through Jung's symbolic lens. From January's stillness to December's vision, the calendar becomes more than a measure of time. It becomes a symbolic map of inner life. Jung never intended these archetypes to limit or define anyone. Instead, he viewed them as starting points for dialogue with the soul. The archetype of your birth month may highlight natural strengths, emotional tendencies, and recurring life themes. But the true work lies in how you consciously engage with these symbols. Transformation comes not from simply knowing your archetype, but from integrating it into your choices, growth, and way of living. Jung called this process individuation, becoming the most authentic and whole version of yourself. This journey is unique to each person. The more you learn to recognize the symbolic forces at play, the more freedom you have to shape your life with awareness and meaning. Your birth month doesn't define you, but it can illuminate the path your soul is walking. And with this perspective, perhaps you'll see both yourself and your story with new eyes.